Hi everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel, Hallmark Plus More, where we watch and talk about shows, movies, mysteries, Hallmark ornaments, and anything else that floats our boat. So today I'm going to be going over the 2025 Hallmark Keepsake Ornament Dream Book. So I'm definitely excited to get into it. We're going to go page by page. I also have some things I want to go over at the end. So stay with me till the end. We're going to go over first in series, final in series this year, the limited quantities for July, the limited quantities for October. Also some ornaments that are not in the Dream Book this year that we typically see each year, as well as some other ornaments you may have missed. Some series regulars, they look a little different this year. So definitely stay with me till the end and we can go over all of that. Before I get into the Dream Book, I just want to say thank you to everybody who subscribes to my channel, likes my videos, leaves me comments. I appreciate you so much. If you have any questions or comments about the ornaments or my videos, you can leave them below. I love interacting with everybody. Okay, so let's get into this Dream Book. I know we're all excited to see this year's ornaments. So this is the front. You can see some ornaments there, and this is the back where they go over some dates here and you see some ornaments listed. So we're going to go page by page. First page, you're going to see the table of contents as well as a message to us. So we're going to get into the ornaments now. First page of ornaments, it says art and artsy, and you can kind of tell these are wooden ornaments. You can see here Harry Potter, you see a gnome for Christmas. So they are all together there. The next page you're going to see is, you're going to see three of here on this page which are new. And then you're also going to see some ones we're familiar with. The Cute as a Button, you're going to see Snowball and Tuxedo. I want to go over these for a minute. You're going to see this. It's called Candy's Bakery, and you're going to see a little person there. So that is a set of two. Candy's Bakery is actually going to be a full-size ornament. And then the little baker owner there, you see with the white hat, she is a mini. So it's a set of two. So you're going to get the actual shop and then the shop owner as a mini. And then right next to that, you're going to see a little reindeer. That is Dasher. That is a new series called 8 Tiny Reindeer. So each year you're going to see a new reindeer. And the first one in that series is Dasher. So we're going to go on to the next page, which you're going to see the gnomes. And of course, the little sister ornament. This year it's Peppermint. And you see the ad for Hallmark Plus streaming. And this page, you're going to see some regulars there. The Toymaker Santa. You see the young Santa there on the bottom. Okay, now I want to go over this one over here at the top. This is a special piece. It's made by several different artists. If you kind of see it close up, you can pinpoint several series that are actually in that ornament. So that is a fairly large ornament, and it does have several artists. It's called Baking Up Some Fun, and it's released in October, and it's $49.99. It's a larger piece. I believe it is still an ornament, but a little bit bigger. So here is the next page. You're going to see your rocking horses, some of your fairies, the butterfly, and then you're also going to see your Father Christmas here. And if you look at the top there, you'll see the Father Christmas kind of reindeer that goes with it. It's kind of hidden up there above the Father Christmas ornaments. And you also see a few down there. So I want to show you all of those. You see Beauty of Birds there as well. Here, you're going to see your club exclusives. So being a KOC member, you get to order, get to purchase, I should say, 2 ornaments in October, 2 ornaments in July. And you have to be a KOC member in order to purchase them. So they are right there. The next page you're going to see here You're going to see a couple snowmen and that Dapper L, which is a limited edition, and the Dapper L that's limited edition is actually blown glass. This one I was talking about on my finger. That is a blown glass ornament of an owl. So looks very intricate. I'm excited to see that one in person. You see here North Pole trimmers, there's 12 of them, and it comes with the book. So I think they're putting the bell in there so you can kind of see how big or small they are. But that does come as an ornaments and a book set. So here is the next page where you kind of see the penguins there. It looks like a whale. And here you can see the one that I'm excited about on this page is this one right here. That one is going to be adorable. It is an ice cream maker. So there are definitely a lot of adorable ornaments this year. I'm excited about the snowman lighting up here too. This uses a power cord though. It's called Light It Up. So I definitely like that, but it will use a power cord. So I have several ornaments that I put on a string with the power cord. So here we go. You can see here's the next page. You're going to see, it looks like they have a couple, the hippopotamus ornament we see, just some, silly ornaments this year. You see the pole dancing reindeer. So kind of humor the funny ornaments. Next ornaments you're going to see, they say Christmas movies. So you see Cindy Lou Who and the Grinch. See some two ornaments right there from the movie Elf. And then on this page, you see other movies. There's got Christmas Vacation at the top, Frosty the Snowman. So you definitely have a lot there. I like how they group all the ornaments so you can kind of see. Here, meaningful moments. You see the baby ornaments. Just married, our first, I know it's a little bit of a glare, but hopefully you can still see all those. Yep. And these are typical that you're going to see every year. The baby's first Christmas, the ultrasound frame. So, and these you're going to see normally too. Mother, daughter, father, son, grandparent, godparent. You see the sister ornament there, a mom ornament. You see the dog and cat frame ornaments. So definitely, typical ornaments we see each year. And then here you have the angels. So there's 3 or 4 angels on that page. And then you kind of have the spiritual ornaments here with the angels and the cross. And the piano, it looks like there is a little church here. The piano actually plays a gospel rendition of I'll Fly Away. So that is definitely going to be good. But yes, that's all of the ones with the angels. Here, you're going to see kind of like occupations. You see the nurse, see the driving, guitar. So you definitely see some here as hobbies and interests. Here, you're going to see still more hobbies and interests. You're going to see that. Baseball. You kind of see baseball, football, wrestling. As you see, there's a wrestling one at the top with the Eagles player. And then you also see some hockey, baseball there. And you see kind of the helmet there. So definitely some new the snowman playing golf. So definitely some fun ones as well. Here you're going to see the trains. But you see a tabletop up there as well. But you're going to see the trains. You're going to see the cars, ongoing car series. You see the John Deere tractor down there. So definitely, and there's actually a plane in the corner. So those are always very popular, all the vehicles. And then next you're going to see this is for a small mini tree. But you're going to see all of Star Wars. They kind of list what they are right there, because I know sometimes these are hard to see, but you're going to see the ornaments kind of lined up there. They're kind of white. So definitely Here you're also going to see miniature ornaments. What I like about the miniature ornaments, they have a sushi. I personally do not eat sushi, but I know it is very popular. But if you look, you can kind of see the other ones as well. I know I've got the wish list there, which we will go over, but you can see the little kitchen ornaments. I do like baking, so I like those kitchen ornaments. And then you're also going to see some more miniatures over here. The couple ornament this year is called 2 Scoops of Fun. You see that at the top. And then you also see little miniatures in there as well as some very familiar series. So you also see a Beauty of the Birds there, and little mini butterfly. And some of these are out now, so I already got my butterflies. So you're also going to see some more miniatures. I believe these are still miniatures, but you can see kind of pop culture. You know, you see Beetlejuice there. It looks like some Gilmore Girls, Christmas Vacation. You see Pokemon, Minecraft. There's Little Max if you like the Grinch. So definitely some fun ones there. Some trains, that's a set. Pokemon down there at the bottom is a set. You see up at the top, the Peanuts, that's a set. Playing catch, you see that's a set of 2. So definitely a lot of different minis. There's also some mini Harry Potter there. So here you're going to see some Disney. So I know this is very popular. They kind of brought that parade ornament back, but it looks a little different this year than the one they had a few years ago, but still adorable if you like that, or are looking forward to that parade or missed it a couple years ago when they brought it out. And then you see Mickey as a gardener up there. That is a All About Mickey series. So every year they have Mickey doing a different hobby or a different occupation there. So there's definitely a lot of good Mickey ornaments as well. I like this one where he is kind of sitting there thinking. That is called From Sketch to Screen. So that's $24.99, and that's coming out in July. So I think that's adorable. And also the old school firefighting friends. I know that's probably going to be popular as well. And that is $49.99. That comes out in July. And it is magic. So turn the crank for light, motion, and music from Mickey's Fire Brigade. So there is music to that one. We're going to go to our next page here, which is going to be the Haunted House. Haunted Mansion. It's very popular. You see that there. Some of them seem very similar to previous years. So you're going to see that. And the little circle here, that is actually the remote that doubles as an ornament. So if you don't want to know what kind of ornament that is, but yeah, there's definitely a lot for whatever interest you have. The Haunted Mansion collection. And then there's more Disney. So they have that Lady and the Tramp at the top, Tinkerbell. And in the bottom, you can kind of see here. In Little Mermaid, they have a big Kermit the Frog there. So they definitely have a lot different Disney options. I like this one down here, the Cinderella, where they're in front of the book sewing. I think that's adorable. So they definitely have a lot here. And they have a Tinkerbell Precious Moments, which from what I understand, they've already done Tinkerbell and Precious Moments. So we will have to see. I'm not sure why they're doing another one, but I guess it's really popular if they're doing another one. Now this one is still Disney, but you're seeing a couple different ones. Now, I will point out this one, the one that looks like Max in the yellow from the Goofy movie. He is out now. So if you like that ornament and you want to get that one is out currently. There's several others that are in this book that are out now as well. I did a video earlier about the ones that I bought, but there are some that are still out. Now, one thing that I will say is I like that they have a Mater from Cars. I will comment on that. I do like that right here. And And the wheels turn, it says, but the thing that got me was it is actually $45.99 and it comes out in July. So as much as I like that Mater, and I'm glad that the wheels turn, that's great, $45.99 is a lot for one ornament. So as much as I really want to get that ornament, that might be one that has to pass, because $46 for one ornament just as the wheels turn, no other magic, no no other sound, that's a lot for me. So as much as I want it, I might not be able to get that one. Now it's 75 years of Peanuts. So this is mainly Peanuts, everything Peanuts on this page. So I am a big Peanuts and Charlie Brown Gang fan, so I'm super excited about these. One of my favorite ornaments this year is a Snoopy ornament, is this one. The Snoopy, and you see Lucy there with the snowman, because it reminds me of my childhood. It is the snow cones with friends is how it's worded, but I just know it as the Snoopy snow cone machine. So it looks like it did when I was growing up, so I'm aging myself, but that is one I am super excited about getting. And I love the one with the phone. This is a 75-year Peanuts ornament, so I definitely want to get that. So I really love Peanuts. I try to hold back every year because they always have so many good peanut ornaments. But yes, the snow cone maker over here, I'm very excited to get this year, as I'm sure a lot of people are. Here you're going to see different ones here. You see the Minions, you see Shrek. Garfield is new this year, which I thought was cool. Definitely remember Garfield. You see the mac and cheese and the Kool-Aid, which in my other video you saw I already bought those. Then they have a Fruity Pebbles one as well. They have a SpongeBob and Patrick. And, you know, a lot of different ones. They had a dinosaur last year. It looks like they've got another dinosaur called Bacosaurus this year. Here you're also going to see some more. Looks like they have little Lego people. Mr. and Mrs. Lego person, and you see all the Barbies. Now up here you see the Barbie, kind of like the cowboy Ken and Barbie. That is a set of 2. So keep in mind that's one price for both of them. And they have a couple trucks there too. Hot Wheels truck, HW 5 alarm, Hot Wheels 5 alarm. And then you also have the Merriest Dream House Barbie ornament. So that's one of the ones, you know, that they always have a merriest house in town. Sometimes it's been in the past Grinch, Snoopy, Disney. Well, this year the merriest house is the Dream House from Barbie. So if you're looking for that, like, did they not do one this year? There it is. So next you're going to do fan favorites, which are really kind of pop culture. You see there from Stranger Things. And then you also see that here. So they definitely have several. You see the Lord of the Rings there on the other page. Now you're also going to have some from Jaws, Indiana Jones, and you're going to see Shark Week down there. And then you're also going to see different pop culture. You see like Scooby-Doo on the bottom there, a Looney Tunes, but you also see the hand from the Addams Family, Jurassic Park. You see the head pop up with The Exorcist. You see Chucky there. So you definitely see some different pop culture surprising movies and TV. And then you're also going to see some more movies and TVs here. It looks like, you know, they've got one from Wicked, which I know is extremely popular. The bottom there, you see Golden Girls and Friends. They usually have one of those. And at the top, you see a Lacey Chabert collection. So she is, if you watch the Hallmark Channel, you know who Lacey Chabert is. Chabert, I love her. She's a great actress. It looks like they have an ornament of her. Clueless, Schitt's Creek. You know, they have a lot of the truck from Yellowstone. Over here you have the Wizard of Oz. And this one, it actually says I'm melting. So it is magic. And it requires a power cord, keepsake power cord. But she actually says I'm melting and moves. Here's some other Wizard of Oz. Here you see sci-fi and fantasy. And you're going to see that here. Star Wars, Star Trek. You see this one? This is a big tabletop. It is table decoration, $99.99. Beware. And that's Star Trek. So that looks large. It is. It's a tabletop. But you see all of them. They always have interesting ones every year. And they always have a lot because they are very popular. And you are going to keep on going. You're going to see those were Star Trek. Now you're going to see a bunch for Star Wars as well. There's some limited. You're seeing that Darth Vader helmet. That is one of the limiteds. So you can kind of see all of the Star Wars. So they definitely have a lot of Star Wars and Star Trek. I'm going to kind of close up on this one only because it is the one and only ornament that comes out on May 4th. So they do have one ornament called Executive Order 66 from Star Wars Mandalorian. That is your May 4th ornament. So they usually do that, just for Star Wars fans. Here you're going to see your Harry Potter. So they always do a lot for Harry Potter as well. And I'm going to put that over so you can see the second page. All Harry Potter. So definitely a lot to look at for Harry Potter as well. I like that one in the corner there. So definitely a lot to look at for no matter what series you collect. Here's Marvel. So they have a lot of the Marvel characters. And then here you also see on the other page here, Spider-Man, Batman with the Joker. So they have a lot here for you to see. And a lot of these I buy as gifts as well. Super Mario Kart. That star looks large. That's because it is. It is a tree topper and it's $74.99, available in July. And it says it's a light and sound show to music from Super Mario Brothers. So that is a tree topper, which I don't think they've done before with Super Mario. But you'll see Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Minecraft, and then it looks like they've got Halo and Xbox there as well. So I love that they kind of have something for everybody. Looks like they've got Sonic in the corner and Zelda. So definitely exciting. They have something for everybody. Here is the Nightmare Before Christmas. Always have Halloween ornaments, but they have the Nightmare Before Christmas too. Always have a good collection of that as well. And then here you see the Halloween ornaments. You see some Mickey ornaments, different Halloween ornaments, and you'll see in the corner there, you're going to see they have a Halloween Gnomes for Christmas, which says Gnoming for Treats. So that's something new. And then that's the back of the book. So I hope you enjoyed going through the book with me. A lot of the ornaments I'm excited to get. A lot of TV pop culture, but there's also a lot of Harry Potter and Star Wars, Star Trek, A Nightmare Before Christmas, the Haunted Mansion. So a lot of them have their own pages, but I really thought that the Dream book had more ornaments per page. So I know people are saying it seems a little thin this year. I think they've actually loaded up more ornaments per page than in past years. Now, don't quote me on that. I could be totally wrong, but I think it was really packed with ornaments. And some of our past Dream books, I know they've had a couple for just club members. They've had articles in there. So yes, they've been thicker, but sometimes you'll have a page of articles or a message from the artist and then the ornaments. They really didn't have much in this one. The first page kind of had that long paragraph, and then it was really just each page was loaded up with ornaments. So I hope you enjoyed the book. We're going to go over a couple things here. First thing I want to go over is the first in series. So this year, 2025, they only had 2 first in series. And I kind of went over them a little bit at the beginning, but I'm going to show you them again. The first in series, first I'm going to talk about the little reindeer. So you can kind of see him. He's Dasher. Okay, he is the first in series. And the series is called 8 Tiny Reindeer. So each of the little reindeers are going to be unique. They're all going to have a very unique blanket that has their name on it. Like I said, this one's Dasher. And they're each going to have a birthmark. So each of the 8 reindeer are going to have a different birthmark. So that's something kind of fun you can look for each year too. Now they said it's going to go for 8 years, which I kind of mentioned at the beginning. So no plans for Rudolph unless they do maybe a special edition or one of the years they do a limited and they bring a Rudolph out. But, starting the series, they did not include Rudolph. So the other first in series was the candy shop that I was showing you. It is a set of 2. The Candies Bakery is a full-size ornament, and then the little baker, she is a mini. I wanted to see if they say your name. They do not. But the series is called Welcome to Elfsville series. So that is the first in series. That is the first official in series. So last year in our KOC Keepsake Ornament Dream Box, we got some ornaments just like this year. Every year when you get the Dream Box, they give you ornaments that they have already picked out. Everybody gets the same ornaments. Well, last year we got Ollie's Ornament Shop with a little Ollie and a little Leah or Leia minis. And that was kind of the unofficial first release of this series. So in the Dream Book, you are going to see the Candies Bakery that I showed you as the official first in the series. However, if you're a KOC member, you got the unofficial first in the series last year with the Ollie's Ornament Shop. So if you are and you saw that, you're like, wait, I thought that was part of the same series. It is officially Candies Bakery is the first in series. However, we did get it. So I actually have Ollie's Ornament Shop and the little Ollie and Leah from last year. So I'm definitely going to be displaying them together. That is going on my wish list. So those are the only 2 that were first in series. Now there was one that was the last and final. So this year, it is the Madame Alexander series. It's called Dear Santa, and it is the 30th and final in the series. So right here on page 9, you're going to see her in her red dress, and you see she kind of has antlers on. So that is the last and final in the Madame Alexander series, and it's been going on for 30 years, 30 and final in the series. So that's the only series that's really officially ending this year. I want to go over the limited quantities for July. There are 10 limited quantity ornaments this year for July. The Gnome for Christmas, which was the wood ornament that I showed you on the first page, kind of artsy. That's going to be a limited quantity in July. And then also the Cute as a Button series, which is right next to it. You're going to see the Cute as a Button, and then you're going to see the little red, which is the limited quantity. So that's going to be a Cute as a Button special edition limited quantity. Another limited quantity in July is the Beauty of Birds, and that is going to be right here. You will see that where it says limited. That is going to be limited in July for the Beauty of the Birds fans. Very popular series. The next limited quantity in July, which I mentioned when we were looking at it, it's kind of lost up there. And then right above Father Christmas, you might have missed it, is the reindeer. Father Christmas reindeer. So that is going to be limited quantity in July. The next one is going to be called Damper Owl. And that was what I kind of showed you before. It's blown glass. I think it's going to be really interesting this year. Oh, I'm sorry. So definitely that's a limited quantity in July. You can kind of see he's wearing a vest. So I'm curious to see that one up close since it's blown glass. I want to see how big it is. Is it heavy? Like how does that look? Because I'm assuming it's going to be pricey. $24.99 coming out in July. So the next limited quantity, because remember there's a total of 10, I'm going to show you each one. This is all still coming out in July. The next limited quantity is from the series or from the movie, the Disney movie Up. You're going to see Carl and Ellie from up there in the top. So that is going to be limited, and it is a Precious Moments. Carl and Eddie from the movie Up, Precious Moments. And then right below it, you're going to see Sid Phillips from Toy Story. He's kind of the next door neighbor. He's got the skull on his shirt that scares all the toys. He's going to be limited edition. The next limited edition for July is going to be Snoopy's brother Spike. And that's going to be down in the corner there with the cactus. Hopefully you can see it okay. But that's going to be a limited edition this year for Snoopy. And then the other two, there's two more limited editions. Darth Vader's helmet. I think I showed you briefly when we went over that page. But you're going to see his helmet there. Darth Vader's helmet. That is a limited quantity in July. And then also a Harry Potter limited quantity. Oh, let me get that right at the top there. Cedric. You can see him in the yellow shirt. He is a limited quantity for July. So those are all the limited quantities for July. Like I said, a total of 10. I've got them all written down here. And then there's also going to be some limited editions in October debut. And there are 7 limited editions in October. So I'm going to go over all of those with you so that you see them and you know they're ready. So the first one is going to be the Gnomes for Christmas. The Sweet Peppermint. You can kind of see her at the bottom. So she is going to be a limited edition in October. And she's kind of on a candy cane wreath. And she is called Sweet Peppermint. She is the sister of the Gnomes. If you follow that series, every year they have a limited quantity sister. So I believe this is 3. They showed us several years ago kind of like a mock-up drawing of 4. So I believe this is the 3rd of the 4 they've showed us. So I followed the series. I'm very looking forward to getting Sweet Peppermint. So the next one is going to be Sweet Snow Girl. So she is going to be right here. And it looks like there is a little like sweet snowman who was not a limited. It looks like he's coming out in October. And then you can get the limited, you know what I mean, little snow girl. Now, one thing I will say is that it is written here that she's porcelain. So I mentioned that because not all the ornaments were porcelain, obviously. So I like to mention that. Last year, one of the limited quantities was Mrs. Claus holding a present, which I got. It's an adorable ornament, but I was taken back that it was porcelain. I didn't realize how heavy she was. So I still loved the Mrs. Claus, but I talked to other people in the Hallmark store and they were kind of surprised that she was so heavy as well. So now that's why I just wanted to point this out, that the Sweet Snow Girl, it's listed as porcelain. So she's a limited quantity, but she might be heavy too, just like the Mrs. Claus was last year. The next limited quantity in October is going to be a train. New York Central, kind of hopefully you can see that. New York Central 700E Hudson locomotive. So you can kind of see that where my finger is, the yellow. And then the next limited quantity is also on the same page. It's right here. It's the car, 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR. And it's kind of right there in the middle. So those are limited editions for October. There's a couple more. Just going to go over each of them. The next limited quantity for October is going to be a Boo and the Magic Lamp from the movie Aladdin. Right there at the top, you can see him holding the lamp. So that's going to be a limited quantity. Hopefully you can see that okay. And then the other two, there's 2 more. Kronk and the Squirrel from the Emperor's New Groove is going to be a limited quantity. You see there's 2 there for the Emperor's New Groove, but only the one where it says Gronk and the Squirrel is the limited one for October. And the last limited quantity for October is, I'm going to go there now, it's the Star Wars Mandalorian ornament. And it is right in, well, not in the corner. That is the Darth Vader, but you see it right there, the armorer. Make sure you see that for Star Wars. That is your last limited quantity for October. Okay, over here, the Darth Vader, that was a limited quantity for July, but I was talking about this one, the armorer for Star Wars, The Mandalorian. That is the last limited quantity for October. So you got 10 limited quantities in July. You got 7 limited quantities in October. So the limited quantities mean, just as they say, they're limited. So usually, when they have the July premiere and the October debut, it's usually a weekend thing. So if you're a KOC member, you get 1 day early access shopping, yay, which means you get to go on Friday. The event typically open to the public on Saturday, but the KOC members, you pay extra for that membership. Like I say, you renew usually in November of the year for the following year. So November 1st of 2024, I renewed for 2025 year. And the membership is January to December. So you renewed in November. I have it the whole year. And part of those perks is you get to go a day early. So the limited quantities, there's only so many, and it's 1 per person. So even though I showed you 10, you can get all 10, but you can't get like 5 of the Star Wars Mandalorian. You can get 1 of each limited. And when they're gone, they're gone. So usually you want to get to the store early on Saturday. In my case, I'm going to be there early Friday morning, so that I can get the limited quantities that I want. So definitely, take a look at what I showed you. If there's a limited quantity that you want, just kind of write it down. Limited quantities are not allowed on the wish list. So you want to make your wish list, you want to turn it in. You're not obligated to buy everything on your wish list. But it's nice to have them pulled, right? Because the store pulls them, puts them in a bag for you. If you get there and you don't want them, you can always put them back on the shelf. Or if you see something in the book afterwards, or you go into the store and you see one you really like, you can always add it. So remember, a wish list is not something you pay for in advance. It's just exactly that. It's a wish list. It's what you wish to purchase. You have no obligation to do so. I normally purchase everything on my wish list, and I usually add a couple. I've been known to put a couple back here and there, but the reason why I say you can add to it when you get there is once you submit your wish list, you have to call the store to add it, even if you've submitted online. So you can always fill out the wish list and take it to your local store. Or you can fill it out online. Starting April 25th, 2025, you can go to Hallmark.com and fill out your wish list. You still got to pick a store because the store is going to fulfill it. So I normally do my wish list online just because I like to see it. When I fill it out online, I can always go back and look at it. However, once you submit your wish list, you can't keep adding to it. You have to call the physical store that has your wish list and tell them to add it, and they will add it. So, once you submit it online, that's it. You submitted it. Now you have to call the store and add to it. Which I've been known to do. So it's not a bad thing. It's just, once you submit it, you actually have to give them a call to add things to it. So the other things I wanted to go over was a couple things that we were missing this year. So there was no Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Typically they have an Eeyore ornament. There was no Tweety Bird. Warner Brothers Tweety Bird. I personally love Tweety Bird, so I was a little disappointed there wasn't one this year. Not that I don't have enough. I'm sure my husband will tell me, you got plenty. But every year, they usually include some of these. Another one is Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. Rudolph, I mentioned they have the new Tiny Reindeer series. This year it's Dasher. New series, first in series this year, but no Rudolph. And they also, we're talking about peanuts. Last year they had mini peanuts. They had two mini peanut characters that had instruments. So it wasn't known, but us as fans, us as collectors, was hoping that this year they would have two more mini peanuts playing instruments so we could have a little peanuts band, maybe Schroeder on the piano or something. But they did not this year. They had two Peanuts minis this year, and it says playing catch, and they're in kind of baseball outfits, a catcher, but they didn't have the mini Peanuts playing instruments. So I think a couple of us, me included, was looking forward to, a mini Peanuts this year with different instruments. So there was a couple things that weren't in the book that we were expecting. Another thing as well, which I showed you when we were going through the dream book, but there is one ornament that's coming out in May. May the Force be with you for Star Wars. It was Execute Order 66, Star Wars Mandalorian. So I pointed that out to you. That's on page 60. And then there is one ornament release in November. So, and that was the Rocking Reindeer. So I'm just going to go to page 60 again, just to show you that that is the one coming out in May. May the Force be with you. Star Wars The Mandalorian. It's the only ornament in the book coming out on May 4th. Celebrate May the 4th be with you with Star Wars. And then there's only one ornament that's coming out in November. So everything in the book is either out now, because there are some that are, and July and October. And then that one from May. And this one is coming out in November. It's on page 8. It's called Rocking Reindeer. Kind of can see that in the middle there. That is the only ornament coming out in November. Looks like a reindeer on a rocking horse stand there. So that is the only one in October. Typically with Hallmark, you have 3 events. You have July ornament premiere, you have October debut, and you have a December ornament called 'Tis the Season. And in December, they usually have maybe 2 or 3 ornaments. I mean, obviously you're full into the season in December, so they don't release a ton of ornaments, but usually there's 2 or 3, anywhere from 3 to 5 sometimes. And they don't have any ornaments being released in December. The Rocking Reindeer in November, that's the only one. But they also don't show a December event. The back just tells you about the dates for July and October. So they do not even list a 'Tis the Season December ornament event because they don't have any ornaments to release, but they're not even giving you an event. One thing that I didn't see was usually they have an open house, which is in November. Now remember, I just showed you they have one ornament being released in November, but I don't see any information about the open house. The open house doesn't always involve ornaments, so maybe they are still going to have it and they're not listing it in the dream book. Open house is usually about house decor, decorations. Wrapping paper goes on sale. I buy a lot of knickknacks, and of course I'll buy ornaments anytime I go to Hallmark, but I haven't heard anything about either one of those events. I think they did away with 'Tis the Season this specific year because they don't have any ornaments to release in December, and that obviously the events, are around releasing ornaments. So we will have to wait and see. I think they will still have an open house. That's where you get the VIP bag and, contents. So I still think they'll have that, even though they haven't announced it or had it in the list. But it is definitely surprising that there's no December releases and no 'Tis the Season event. So again, I don't work for Hallmark. I could be completely wrong. We will just have to wait and see. That's just what I've noticed and what I've seen. Now, some of the ornaments you may have missed, or some of the ornaments that are, season regulars or series, One of them is the beer stein. So every year, it's not really a series because it's not like a first in series or this is the fifth, but it's kind of an unofficial series. Every year there's a different style beer stein, and they do have one this year. It's on page 27 in the middle there. It kind of looks like a reef. It's shaped like a circle reef. But yes, I always mention that. I know that kind of gets lost in with the hobbies and interests page on 27, but that is the beer stein. Another one that is kind of people have lost or have missed is the Snowtop Lounge, which is 21st in the Snowtop Lounge series. It is Ollie. You have Pipe. You can see him there in the middle. So that is where that is. If you're looking for the Snowtop Lounge 21st in series, that's on page 7. And then this year, the surprise. Last year it was Rudolph and Rhonda. You know, which one are you going to get? The surprise ornament. This year it is the Young Santa surprise, which is also on page 7. You can kind of see there. You can either get the green or it looks like pink. So it's a surprise on which one you get. I don't believe it tells you which one is the rare one. There's always one that's, you know, more common. And once we get the box, we'll see that. That comes out in October. And then this year, they actually have a Nifty 50, which I know in the past people have been upset because they've missed them. But this year, it is not a special edition. It is not limited. It is just a regular Nifty 50s ornament. And that is on page 13. And that is out in July. You can see it's a little Santa Claus, Christmas tree, and a little circle ornament. The other thing that I really enjoyed this year or was surprised to see was they have a parent and child ornament. So typically you always have grandparents, you have mom and dad, son and daughter, and then you usually have a mother and daughter and a father and son, but they don't have a father and daughter or a mom and son. So I was very happy to see this year. You can see it's the penguins that I'm having you look at here. It's the penguins. It says parent and child ornaments. Dad and me, mom and me. So I was very happy with this because as you've seen from my other videos, I have a son and they always have mother-daughter ornaments and not mother-son ornaments. So I am definitely glad they have a parent and child, so to speak, dad and me and mom and me. So that's on page 22 if you missed that, and they are going to be out in July. And the last one that I wanted to mention was the Car is the Star series. So this is the 5th year of that. And sometimes they can kind of be hidden or kind of, stuck with other ornaments, and people seem to can't find those as well. That's on page 31. It is the 1976 Chevrolet Camaro Bumblebee. You will see that up in the corner. The Car is the Star series. That is the Bumblebee. 76 Chevy Camaro. So that is also in those series. So I just wanted to kind of show you if there were some series you collected. Hopefully I went over them. I hope you enjoyed the dream book. I did. I am going to be filling out my wish list, and my wallet's going to be hurting because I have several that I want to buy. But I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you enjoyed the dream book. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And I hope to see you in a Hallmark store buying ornaments soon. Bye.